To how CommonSpirit uses Impact to accelerate their adoption of the SPM platform across ServiceNow. Standard safe harbor notice, any looking forward statements, we just want to make sure that these are just based on our beliefs and some assumptions. So please take that into consideration as you're listening and learning and going forward. We do encourage you to join us for future webinars. There's a schedule here. You can simply use your mobile device, click the link, and jump into signing up for some additional webinars. And again, the link will be shared in the chat today, later at the end. Just a few housekeeping items. We want to make sure that we're asking questions in the Q&A section. So if you could leverage the Q&A section for your questions. The session will be recorded and will be available on demand following the session, and naturally it'll be shared across the community as well. And then naturally we want to keep the conversation going so that we can continue to engage experts as we go forward. So this will be available on the Impact Hub as well. And then at the end, we want to know how we did. We want to make sure that we did a good job and we know how we can improve going forward. So without further ado, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Felipe Mora from CommonSpirit and Kelly Anderson from CommonSpirit, alongside myself, Jennifer Depew with ServiceNow, and Matt Hong. Welcome to the party. Let's kick it off.
Awesome, great. All right, well, I'll kick things off. Hey, everyone, I'm Matt Hong, Product Manager on Impact. And before we get started, I'd love to ask those of you on the call, you should see a pop-up on your screen about a poll on how you're tracking the value that you're receiving from ServiceNow today. We have 4 options here. Is it through formal metrics, dashboards, 2, gut feeling, 3, manually generated reports, or 4, we don't really have good tracking mechanisms in place? It looks like right now, about 50% of you have been saying we don't have good tracking mechanisms in place. A few folks mentioning gut feeling. Some do have some metrics and dashboards in place and some manually generated reports. But it still looks like a majority of folks don't have great tracking mechanisms in place. And that's okay. That's why we're here all today. And since it looks like a good number of the folks here don't really have good tracking mechanisms in place, or maybe you're going off gut feeling, it's my pleasure to introduce you to ServiceNow Impact today. So what ServiceNow Impact is it is a value acceleration solution that is designed to help you maximize your investment with ServiceNow. This is built completely on the Now platform, and what we do is we combine predictive software with human ingenuity to keep your platform healthy and also help you speed your time to value. What we offer in here are personalized insights, recommendations, value tracking, and industry benchmarking, best practices content, learning, and premium technical support, all built together in one place to create this beautiful experience that we continuously iterate and build upon for you. So in today's session, we're going to hear from CommonSpirit about how their team is using and benefiting from ServiceNow Impact. But before we dive in, we'd love to walk you through a quick product tour to show you some of how it actually looks up in the product. So I'm going to go ahead and put my screen right here. Great. So let's say I'm a platform owner and I'm responsible for managing my company's ServiceNow instances. That includes planning upgrades, monitoring platform health, tracking our adoption, value, and more. And so I'm going to quickly walk through how we can do that with Impact. When I first log in, I am taken to the homepage that we see right here, which provides a high-level view into what's top of mind for me as a platform owner. At the top of the page, I can review key activities and deliverables that need my immediate attention at the top. The Impact homepage also includes personalized recommendations as to what I should do next, what are the best next steps for me as a platform owner, as well as for my organization as a whole. Scrolling down further on the left-hand side here, I take a look at the business objectives and initiatives that support my ServiceNow journey. Oftentimes, our customers can forget the actual goals they hope to achieve with the platform, but here we explicitly call it out. And I noticed one specifically on increasing employee productivity. This is a big one. This is going to be a big goal for the company that will require all hands on deck. And we can even see here what ServiceNow products will help me achieve this goal from ITSM, HR, SAM, and more. As I continue to scroll down, I'll also see my Impact entitlements. So aside from managing the value journey, Impact also includes valuable resources like advisory sessions. These are expert-led workshops where I can ask ServiceNow technical experts on best practices to achieve their goals, as well as accelerators. Now, these are fixed scope to help guide me in the ServiceNow journey, such as design reviews or maturity assessments. Scrolling back up here and on the right-hand side, I also get a quick snapshot into the status of all my recommended ServiceNow capabilities that will accelerate the company's path to value. And this is across all the products that my company has purchased, helping me understand my overall product adoption and making sure that I'm taking full advantage of what I've purchased from ServiceNow. The top here, platform health is also top of mind for platform owners like myself. With a healthy platform, I can push innovations to my users with confidence. Right from the homepage, I can monitor an overall instance health score and see key metrics and track trends across all the instances that I currently manage. I do also receive the right product content at the right time. Through a machine learning algorithm, customers will receive personalized content recommendations, enabling them, like myself, to adopt ServiceNow products even faster. And if I need any immediate support or have any questions during my customer success journey, I can initiate a conversation right here with my Impact Squad to quickly receive the guidance that I need. Who's involved in the Impact Squad? Well, we have a great cast of folks here. These include support account managers, who are my go-to person for support escalation and operations, success architects. These are the guides across the ServiceNow journey that assist with understanding the value I hope to attain from ServiceNow. Platform architects, they provide technical guidance like infrastructure design reviews. And lastly, the customer success manager is the overall coordinator or my first line of defense for any requests or support. Each of them play a very critical role in supporting my customer success journey. So now that I have a good sense of how my ServiceNow journey is going, it's time to get to work. Say my boss is the CIO, and he's really focused on improving employee productivity. They hear that there's a lot of new Gen AI features coming out in the future, but he's a little unsure as to where to actually get started. So he asked me, the platform owner, to plan out our Gen AI roadmap and also execute on it. How could I get started? Well, actually, on the recommendations, I see something for an accelerator on generative AI. So let's click in and see what's in it. This accelerator helps me and my team learn about the possibilities and capabilities of ServiceNow Gen AI that I can see right here. There's some major activities that I see here. There's going to be some coaching as well as some outputs from here, including a deck that I can use as an asset. This looks perfect, so I can go ahead and get started and schedule this session and meet with my squad. They're going to walk me through the ins and outs of Gen AI, give me helpful advice on what to do next. So let's fast forward a bit. I figured out exactly what we need to do. So now the team of mine has been working on implementing these features. A few weeks later, the CIO wants an update on our progress. Instead of crafting slides, I can share the capabilities map, which provides a pulse check into the adoption status of all of my ServiceNow features. I can specifically see here what has been adopted, what is currently being implemented, not yet adopted, helping me understand the usage status of my ServiceNow portfolio. My squad can also recommend capabilities to me that I can quickly take advantage of. This helps me identify areas of opportunity, as well as providing resources into ways to get started. So for example, for something like, let's say dynamic translation, if I'm not sure exactly what it is, I can get a quick link directly into product documentation. Looking here, it seems like a lot of the AI features like AI search, predictive intelligence, they're on track, currently being implemented. So I can share that great news with our CIO, who's happy with our progress. Now, since our team has been implementing a lot of new features on our platform, I also need to make sure that our instances are healthy enough as we're innovating on the platform. And so I can also track my platform health in real time right here in Impact. Impact provides me with a one-stop shop into these critical metrics that we see on the top here for maintaining a healthy platform. I can see through a single view of how the health of my platform is across these 5 key categories of manageability, performance, security, upgradability, and user experience. And scrolling down below, I also get observations, some key takeaways and highlights, areas that I can focus on to improve my scores, as well as any notes directly from my squad on what I can do next. Scrolling down, I can also see how my scores trend over time to get a sense of that, as well as how our instances are faring against peers of my industry. So overall, it looks like our scores are pretty stable, in fact, actually doing really well. So it seems like even with the addition of these new Gen AI features, things have been going great for the organization here. So we're going to fast forward a little bit more in time. Now all the AI capabilities are live and in use in all instances. And now it's time for us to check in and track our overall business value derived from ServiceNow, especially now that those AI features have been live for some time. When I click into business value, I can review how much value has actually been realized across the ServiceNow products I own. For example, let's take a look at ITSM. With the investment in ITSM, my team has generated over $6 million in value across these 3 business objectives, including the increased employee productivity one that we saw earlier in this demo. From here, I can actually break it down to specific outcomes that we're tracking, specific success metrics, including reducing disruption from incidents. And so we actually work together with my squad to come up with these assumptions and also input real-time instance data, providing an accurate and realistic calculation into my ROI of ServiceNow. So I can share this great news with my CIO as well, who's really excited and happy about how the new Gen AI features are making a tangible positive difference to our ServiceNow platform. So that was a quick overview of how Impact shows up digitally for our customers and how customers today would use the tool altogether. But with that, thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to turn it over to the main event, the main attraction here, which is Kelly and Felipe from CommonSpirit. Oh, Jennifer, do we have the slides up?
Can you see them now?
Yes.
Hello. Um, Challenges are gifts that forces us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. My name is Felipe Mora, and I am the Systems Director for Platform Engineering here at CommonSpirit Health. Next slide.
My name is Kelly Anderson, and I'm the product manager for SPM at CommonSpirit. CommonSpirit was formed in 2019 through a merger of Catholic Health Initiatives and Dignity Health. More recently, we brought in Centura Health to the mix and making us the second largest nonprofit healthcare provider in the country with over 140 hospitals, more than 2,200 care sites, and we operate in 24 states with over 200,000 employees.
The vision of CommonSpirit is that of having one platform, one database. And we not only want to enhance, but also empower the experience of our users in the platform. We want to leverage the automation in the platform to be more efficient across multiple groups in the organization. And this will give us the true end-to-end visibility on the business and understand where we are in that journey to achieve our vision. Prior to 2023, we were leveraging just a few modules in the platform, such as ITSM, HRSD, and SecOps. But in early 2023, we decided to heavily invest and purchase, if not all, most of the toys from ServiceNow to be able to embark in that journey to achieve our vision.
Yeah, and really, the reason we started this whole journey is, to support that one CommonSpirit, the one point of entry and for all of our IT services, and then that was it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we definitely had a lot of challenges at the beginning, and one of the ones that we self-inflicted was that we decided to self-implement SPM. And also, we were only had 11 months to do everything. And by everything, I mean gather requirements, implement, and train all the end users to use and leverage the module, and then be off of the legacy tool. And we needed to do all of that within 11 months.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we didn't really have any true SMEs with experience in SPM. We had a platform team that was very well versed in some of the other modules, but when we got into SPM, we quickly realized that it is very different. It has different complexities, and we didn't quite have the experience level that we thought we did. And just to add on to that, our start was delayed by 3 months, which meant that our very aggressive 11-month timeline is now 8 months.
And to add more to it, we knew that we needed to do our yearly upgrade on the platform. So we knew right off the bat that we needed to slow down on the project to be able to upgrade our instances. And what Kelly said, we didn't really have any SMEs on SPM. And our key player, the product manager, didn't join the team until a few months into the project.
So, and then early on, the focus was a little bit short-sighted. We were focusing a lot on new features rather than business outcome. Design was based on, the shiny new things that we were seeing, and we weren't looking at the bigger picture. And in addition to that, we went from a legacy tool that was highly customized, and the requirements initially with our initial business stakeholders was they really wanted to recreate everything in the legacy tool into SPM, which, was everything from, they were just very resistant to change. So it was everything from changing field names to matching what the former tool said, even though it was like a one-word change, or just completely unnecessary customizations and configurations that we would later have to undo.
And from the very beginning of the project, we wanted to stay very close to out of the box, just MVP functionality. But as we started to have conversations on those requirements, we understood that our level of maturity on project management was pretty high. So our MVP requirements started to evolve into a little bit beyond just MVP. And then 3 months into the project, we had a reorg, which forced the PMO team to be removed from our project. So now we didn't have a business stakeholders telling us the requirements and the needs of the business. So we struggled there for a while.
Yeah, and the result of all the stuff we've been talking about, the delays, the upgrades, the org restructuring with new business stakeholders, complex design to mirror the previous tool, and ever evolving requirements that redefined MVP throughout, the result was a lot of rework, a lot of undoing what we'd already done. We did a lot of stuff twice, and it was a lot of rework.
Next slide. So definitely a lot of challenges, and this is when we decided to heavily partner up with the ServiceNow Impact team. And let me just say upfront that the ServiceNow Impact team is not a delivery services team, but they are going to provide you with the knowledge, empower you with the tools and resources to be able to make those strategic decisions to be able to move forward. And that is exactly what they did.
So, when Felipe and I started talking about this journey and presenting first at Knowledge and now here, I had no doubt that we could not have done what we did without the product advisory sessions. And then I started really thinking about how product advisory helped us throughout our implementation journey. In a nutshell, the product SME advisory quickly became our phone a friend throughout the entire implementation. We were solutioning on our own, and for the most part, fairly successful. But given the inexperience we had with SPM as a whole, we ran into a lot of roadblocks. In some cases, we were going down the wrong path entirely and going on that path way too long. And in others, we could not find a solution at all, or we caused collisions with other ServiceNow products, just again, due to our inexperience in the tool. on the SPM side. Advisory really helped us with our, adoption practices and helped us stay on track, helping us shift our mindset from this is how we've always done it to more of a willingness to learn and embrace SPM for everything that it has to offer.
And like I mentioned before, we didn't really have this meet, and this is when a few months into the project, Kayla arrived to the rescue. And thank God for her joining us at that point in the project, because we really needed someone with her expertise and skills to be able to help us focus and drive more on the business outcomes. While the advisory hours were fantastic and it's something that we lean on it, having Kelly in-house was a huge help.
And, right around the time that I joined, the delivery optimization group was formed, replacing the former PMO. With this newly formed team came new leadership, and we had a different level of engagement, which we desperately needed, so that we were able to focus on the larger business drivers rather than what was starting to feel like a compilation of individual requests, which resulted in better alignment to our overall strategy vision for the organization.
So just like we lean on services like advisory hours from the Impact team, we also leverage what they call the adoption toolkit. And this is a folder of many documents, templates that helps you on how to properly run a project implementation in ServiceNow, how to gather requirements, how to put together training documents. And all of these documents are module specific, right? So we obviously focus on the SPM side of things. And yes, there were many documents and templates in there, but given the fact that we didn't really have that much time to leverage all of those documents, we just picked and choose what we needed to get us to that finish line. Additionally, also part of the services from Impact is that we have access to on-demand courses on the Now Learning platform for free. And we went straight into getting an assessment to understand the different courses, the path that we needed to go and educate our business versus our developers. Once we understood that, we were able to send our teams to go on the Now Learn platform to take those courses on SPM and then come back with that knowledge to be able to speed up our implementation. So that was a huge help.
Yeah, and us evolving into like an MVP model was also very helpful, and we couldn't have done that without the help of ServiceNow's Impact services. Our MVP plan originally was we want to stay out of the box for all the reasons we were talking about before, but with the new structure and the new direction change, we were constantly changing and evolving our requirements, which quickly morphed into more of an MVP than a true MVP out of the box implementation. The other piece that I'll probably keep talking about is the customized training, which was absolutely crucial to us achieving our go live. As we talked about so many times, we had a time crunch. That time crunch was condensed even more, and then we had a go live that we could not delay. There was just no option for that. So ServiceNow, with their customized training, they took our developed instance and built technical tool training based on our individual instance. The only thing we had to do at the end of the day is overlay our process onto the training documents that they provided, which allowed us to continue to focus on that project delivery and hit that milestone date for go live.
Next slide.
So the pieces, that we really took advantage of, the adoption accelerator services were crucial. The adoption toolkit really helped us get organized and stay organized. The change enablement plan and workshops were extremely helpful, and the templates they provided saved us valuable time and contributed to us hitting that go live target. And then back to the training, I can't say enough about the custom training adoption. At the end of the day, we were able to deliver training to over 1,000 participants in our training sessions over a 4-week period leading up to our go live. And ServiceNow also provided recorded demo videos and quick reference guides, in addition to the online or on-demand courses that Felipe had mentioned earlier.
Yes, definitely. October 31st was our go live dates from the very beginning. We never moved that date. Um, we were so happy that even with all the obstacles, we were able to still go live on that date, and it was because of the collaboration with the Impact team and the services that we were able to achieve that go live date. The picture on the right is the actual cake that we got to celebrate our go live, and let me just tell you, that was a very delicious cake. Next slide.
So I'll talk a little bit about the lessons learned. The first one that I think is so crucial is, engage impact services and sooner and more often. In the beginning, we believed that we were going to do it on our own, that we could do it on our own, that self-implementation meant that we were on our own, which is absolutely not the case. We're on our own, but we also had ServiceNow to come in and partner with us so that we could make this journey together. We were inexperienced with SPM as an organization, and that's okay. The impact services were here to help. They helped us through some of the complex integrations, and they helped steer us to the most efficient solutions. I think one of the things is that we need to remember is it's really important to understand your expected outcomes from a business perspective prior to development. It's going to save a lot of time.
And here at CommonSpirit, we are an agile shop. So from the beginning of the project, we went with the the pool model, where we pull in resources from available developers to come in and help in different sprints. But we quickly learned that that was not helping us speed up our implementation. So we ended up changing to more of a dedicated developers, still an agile methodology, but now we have dedicated developers that can be on the sprints over and over and carry that knowledge with them to allow us to speed up that implementation, right? Another thing that we learned was that at the very beginning of the project, we spent many weeks and hours, and we can attest to that by leveraging the advisory hours. We spent a lot of time educating the business on the out-of-the-box functionality on SPM. What does that do? How does it do it, right? So we spent a lot of time there educating the business. So going forward with any project, we're going to have a prerequisite where the business is going to need to take those on-demand courses or even instructor-led courses on the module that we want to implement. We want to educate the business prior to the kickoff of that project. And the reason for that is because we want that business, like I said, be educated going into the project, knowing the product, how it works out of the box, so they can give us the right requirements so we can get started on that implementation as soon as possible.
Yeah, another lesson learned is, we learned that staying out of the box or trying to be out of the box doesn't mean no configuration. It doesn't, it doesn't mean no configuration or customization. Even when we tried to keep our customizations to a minimum, we still had a lot of development work. We did have a few complex issues we were trying to resolve, and I don't think we were 100% prepared for the amount of work that it was going to be, even as we were saying out of the box. I think it's important to have clearly defined goals and targets of what we want the tool to do prior to development. And along with that, it's critical to understand the business requirements prior to diving into the development. It's going to save a lot of rework at the end of the day.
One of the things that we hear a lot through the advisory hours, the impact team, and even the adoption toolkit is to take that crawl approach into the project, right? You have the crawl, walk, run, or even fly approach. So we try to approach the project through the crawl start. But like I mentioned before, our level of maturity on project management was pretty high. So we're trying to cram our maturity into a crawl approach, and it was slowing us down. It was causing difficulties on the project. So we ended up having to readjust and take more of a walk run approach into the project. And this allowed us to pick up the speed on the implementation. So going forward with any project that we're going to implement in the platform is that we're going to look at the level of maturity in our business and then take the right approach. That could be a crawl, that could be walk, run, or even fly, right? But we're going to take that into account and we'll take the right approach into the project going forward.
Yeah, another challenge we ran into is, the team we started with was not the team we ended up with because of all the reasons we talked about throughout with the organizational changes and things like that. We lacked some formal definition of roles like process owner, product manager, etc. And the result of that was confusion and chaos at times. We had instances where everyone wanted to own something, and then we had other instances where nobody wanted to own it. So having those roles and responsibilities defined early on, I think will help alleviate some of that confusion and chaos. And then we also struggled, and I think Felipe mentioned it earlier, with gathering requirements from the start. Our inexperience with SPM resulted in a lot of missing or incomplete requirements, which caused a lot of rework and sprint carryover, and also delayed some of the work completion. Pair that with the desire initially to lift and shift, we really needed help staying on track. So, engaging ServiceNow often and basically all the time was super helpful. And I think that's one of our lessons learned is, again, to engage them as early and as often as possible. And our other lesson learned was there was just a lot of change throughout the project. The process owner leadership changed the vision mid-implementation. Now the new vision, while in the absolute right direction, focusing more on business outcomes and less on recreating a legacy tool, was fantastic. But the result of that was we did have a lot of wasted development that could have been avoided had we had a clearer vision up front. And with that, that's the end of our piece. Thank you so much